The biggest fall event for the Ushiromiya family was the family conference in October. But to Jessica, there was another major event that came before that, the school cultural festival. Jessica liked school. To her, it was a place where she could let out the stress she'd built up from the rigid lifestyle she was forced to lead at home. For today's cultural festival, she'd formed a group with her friends and had announced that they'd perform some light music on a temporary stage. She'd prepared and practiced for this over and over until today, always anxiously awaiting this day's arrival. But there was one thing that worried her. She looked at the clock. There was still a little time, but she felt uneasy. Would that person really come? After taking a single deep breath, her heart jumped when all her friends suddenly started speaking in shrill voices. It may not be like this for all girls, but at least at Jessica's school, the cultural festival was basically a boyfriend exhibition. Jessica didn't have a boyfriend. She had many friends of the opposite sex, but no special only one. But Jessica was a little famous around the school, and everyone thought it would be natural for her to have a fitting partner. Furthermore, her pride had led her to pretend that this was true. She'd somehow managed to keep them fooled until this year. But for various reasons, she hadn't been able to escape this year's cultural festival.
Jessie, 彼氏来た？え？いや、まだ来てねえみてえだぜ。仕事忙しいのかな？ジェシー、せめて何系？スーツとか持ちや！今素直に一緒にこの文化祭を涙で濡らそうよ。いや、いる、本当にいるって。
Jessica's bitter smile was covered with cold sweat. It was starting to seem doubtful whether she really had deceived her sharp-witted friends.
Hi. なら、彼氏さんの偽物を立てて連れて行くというのはどうでしょうか。偽物？誰を？そんなのの心当たりねえぜ。
Shannon's ridiculous plan surprised Jessica into hysterics. Even so, it was probably more realistic than the crazy methods running through her head about getting a boyfriend in a big rush before the cultural festival.
例えばですが、カノン君なんてどうでしょう。カノン君？ダメ！というか、きっとカノン君文化祭の日は仕事に決まってるぜ。迷惑かけちゃ悪いしさ。もちろん予定表も確認済みです。カノン君はその日お休みになっています。こんな時ばっかり容量がいいのな。じゃなくて、休みならもっと悪いぜ。せっかくの休みを私の見栄のために引っ張り出せないよ。カノン君は引っ張り出されないといっつも閉じこもってばかりいますので、無理に引っ張り回すくらいでちょうどいいかと思いますよ。そうなの？いや、でもカノン君に悪いなら晩作つきますね。おとなしく彼氏はいませんと白状なされてはいかがでしょうか。それは肩身の狭い思いをなされるでしょうが、愛し合う恋人同士にとって独り者のひがみ顔が何にも勝る甘い蜜なのです。シャノン、私のために本気で悩んでないでしょ。おちょくってるでしょ。
Jessica wrestled about with Shannon, her eyes teary. But Shannon was unfazed, laughing with her usual smile.
私とジョージ様のことを茶化してばかりのお嬢様への仕返しです。
Listening to Shannon's comeback, the likes of which didn't happen even once a year, Jessica hugged her cushion and rolled around on her bed, pretending to faint in agony. She couldn't stand Shannon's smile, which looked so triumphant. But right now, she was the only person Jessica could talk with. She could choke her to death with her cushion later.
いいじゃないですか、お嬢様。文化祭ではありますが、カノン君と一緒に遊びに行くチャンスですよ。いや、それはそうだけど、いや。
Jessica buried her head in her favorite pillow to hide the fact that her face had grown bright red. And she grumpily chewed the fingernail on her thumb. It really was a reaction to be appreciated. Shannon and Jessica were of about the same age, of the same sex, and friends. And they were both right in the middle of puberty. They could never talk enough about love. That's why they could talk freely about these topics to each other. So, Jessica had heard a lot about how Shannon and George's love was progressing. And Shannon had heard a lot about what type Jessica liked, what kind of man she might be interested in. Judging by Jessica's reaction, it would probably be rude for us to go into precisely what these things were. However, this story won't get anywhere if you just have Jessica rolling around forever, so let's dive in. Jessica had been thinking about Kanon ever since he showed up. It was extremely rare for young men to visit Rokkenjima, so maybe it was natural for Jessica, a girl in puberty, to develop an interest in Kanon. But if anyone said that, it would destroy the romantic ideals of a maiden's pure heart and love at first sight. Shannon had been with Kanon a long time at the orphanage, so she'd known him since before they started working. So, Jessica had asked persistently about what his hobbies were, what his favorite food was, what type of girl he liked. Even to Shannon, it was clear that Jessica was infatuated with Kanon.
もうカノン君をデートに連れ出せるいい機会じゃありませんか。でもカノン君にだって好きな人とかいるかもしれないし、私なんかの見えっ張りに付き合わせたら気を悪くするぜ。お嬢様のような素直じゃない方を何でしたっけ、ジョージ様に習いました。そう、あと十数年かすると流行るんだそうですよ。へえ、さすがジョージ、未来のトレンドがわかるのかよ。すげえぜ。じゃなくてってことは、私ってタイプは時代がずれてるってことじゃねえかよ。もうダメだ。
It took several days of wasted efforts, but in the end, Jessica agreed to the plan of having Kanon pretend to be her boyfriend. Jessica regretted calling out at such a bad time. Kanon always looked sullen, but he had some bad days and some better days. Unfortunately, this reaction was the former. All that confidence and effort she'd built up practicing in front of a mirror all night was wiped out in about 5 seconds. Jessica turned bright red and hung her head. When he saw that, Kanon sighed. Jessica thought that he was exasperated with her, and her face went pale.
シャノンから聞いています。お嬢様の学校の文化祭へお供するようにというお話ですか。
シャノンナイスじゃなくて、そうなんだけど、当日の予定はどうかな。
シャノンから当日は特にお嬢様にお仕えするよう厳命されております。僕は高校には行ったことがないので分かりませんが、何でも 男性の付き人がいないと大変肩身が狭い場だとか、後ろ宮本家令嬢が庶民に劣ることがあってはならないと特に厳命されておりますので。
シャノンは後でぶっ殺す。
Jessica kept yelling with a strange voice and a broken smile, like a tea kettle filled with boiling water. As Kanon watched this, he sighed again. Kanon wasn't an idiot either. He fully understood what Jessica intended by inviting him. But to be honest, playing along with Jessica's love game seemed like it would be nothing more than an annoyance to him. However, Shannon had asked him over and over. He was deeply indebted to her, so he couldn't refuse. And that brooch was in his pocket. Could this strange turn of events have been brought about by the magic power residing in this brooch? Ridiculous. But he remembered what Shannon had said to him that day. Could Shannon see something he couldn't? I don't understand Shannon's feelings. We are furniture. As if we could ever become anything more. It was a truly odd exchange between Jessica, who was still rambling on in a strange voice, and Kanon, who sighed deeply.
Jessie, 人が来てるよ。聞こえてないの？え？ごめん。誰？
As my friends all gathered together, they were looking this way with hard to describe expressions, whispering to each other in small voices that weren't small anymore. My attempt to play dumb felt pretty transparent, even to me. Did I really just say, "Sorry, who is it?" Like I don't know who just showed up. Ah, it's useless, my mind's going blank.
嘘か。ほんとマジ嘘。投資したどこのか。ジェシーの彼氏一緒だってほんと。いや遅かったじゃねえかよ。
昇降口がわからなかったもので遅くなって申し訳ございません。
その格好も似合ってるぜ。
シャノンが普段着では良くないと言って先日一緒に買い物を。似合いませんでしたでしょうか。
そんなことないよ。シャノン、後で2階級特進。
なんだかここは女の人ばかりで居心地が悪いです。
だよな。さ、ここじゃなくてステージの方に行こうぜ。もうすぐ私たちの出番だからさ。さ。
Jessica seemed just as uncomfortable. It looked like being bathed in everyone's interested gazes was hard on her. When he saw Jessica's appearance, Kanon thought he might have made things difficult for her by coming.
なんだか迷惑をおかけしているような気がします。お邪魔だったでしょうか。
そんなことないって。
僕がお邪魔でしたらいつでも言ってくだされば。
嘘。僕だ。ちょろなんかじゃないよ、カノ君。彼氏くんつけだ。
僕はどうしていればいいでしょうか。お嬢。
嘘。お嬢って呼ばせてるの？羊系来たこれ。今日はお嬢様はラーメン。
そうですか。わかりました、ジェシカ様。
しつけ済みの様付けだ。ごめん、カノン君。3秒でいいから目つぶっててくれるかな。キスするよ。
では座ります。
By the time Kanon opened his eyes, a horrible tragedy had occurred in the room. Everyone had been driven into the walls, their arms and legs outstretched. Jessica had slipped her brass knuckles back into her pocket before Kanon's eyes opened.
とにかくステージの方に行こう。私たちの出番はもうすぐだから、しばらく席で待っててよ。私たちは準備あるからさ。この先、突き当たりまで行けば仮設舞台があるからわかるぜ。そこで待ってて。
She pushed Kanon's back as he seemed to be having trouble moving himself and chased him out. Even though Kanon was confused by Jessica's attitude and her panicky state, which he'd never seen before, he followed her instructions and headed in the direction she had indicated. After seeing him off with an awkward smile, Jessica slammed the door shut and yelled loudly.
ささ、見たね？見たでしょ？満足した？ざまあねえぜ！賭けに負けた。絶対ジェシに彼氏なんかいないと思ってたのに。彼氏じゃないんでしょ？使用人へのパワハラでしょ？ジェシの彼氏素敵だおー。いやかわしいぜ。ほらほら、準備。
When Jessica took the brass knuckles out of her pocket again, everyone energetically returned to their tasks. Kanon went down the corridor Jessica had shown him, and ran into a temporary stage setup where the vending machines should have been. It was probably being rented by the hour by some group or club. The ones singing were student groups, but the crowd was still incredibly excited. Disliking that clatter, he leaned against the wall in the darkness by himself. So this is what they call high school. It sure is noisy. That's what Kanon thought. Then he remembered Jessica just now, acting in a way that he'd never seen before. Honestly, she was in such high spirits that alcohol might have been involved. To him, remaining composed and intellectual at all times was the highest virtue. In that sense, it was very hard for Kanon to get used to the atmosphere of a school cultural festival. He had a responsibility to report everything he saw and heard to the master. So he also had to report about how Jessica had acted without restraint earlier. At the very least, it was not fitting for the daughter of the Ushiromiya head family. The master, Crow-sama, and especially Natsui-sama will probably be angry. If I am to report it in a way that protects my lady, should I blame it on inappropriate school friends?
なんだよあれ。バカみたいだ。
Kanon thought back on how Jessica had acted earlier and sighed again. He could understand Natsui's headache a little now. Come to think of it, Natsui-sama, as the president of the PTA, was supposed to go to an informal gathering after attending the ceremony in the gymnasium. She said she wouldn't be able to see my lady's performance, didn't she? That's probably for the best.
人混みは気持ち悪いな。なんだってんだ一体。
Several female students kept glancing at me. It seems they're all whispering the same things my lady's school friends said, and it's truly unpleasant. Come to think of it, didn't Shannon warn me? If you walk alone at something like a school festival, you'd better watch out, because lots of strange people will come and talk to you.
お一人ですか?
Just as expected, a group of girls I'd never met started talking to me. Their stare started to make my back tingle. Didn't she tell me some magic words that could chase them off in times like this?
すみません。連れがいますので。
そうですか。ごめんなさい。
Ah, it worked. Instant reaction. Well, that got rid of them, but it hasn't really changed the number of people staring at me.
違うよ。嘘？あの子が？信じらんないよね。可愛いじゃん。いいな。
There's no way I'll ever come to a place like this again. Kanon sighed for about the zillionth time that day. When he did, the lighting changed, and the standing audience started cheering. He looked around and realized that there was suddenly a large group of people there. And, unlike earlier, they were mostly guys. With this huge crowd, you couldn't even see the stage. Fortunately, there was a fallen beer case nearby, so he tried using that as a footstool. When he did, he realized that there was now a new group on stage. Their leader is my lady. She's changed into stage clothes, and she's even holding a guitar. I didn't know she could play. Then again, maybe she can play. I've seen her practicing air guitar before. Natsui-sama wouldn't approve of any hobbies outside of study. Maybe she was always practicing in secret. Come to think of it, she's been returning really late from school recently, hasn't she? Maybe she's been practicing at school, far away from Natsui-sama's prying eyes. It really is for the best that Natsui-sama didn't come. If my lady were to get scolded by Natsui-sama after putting so many hours of practice in, she'd probably be dejected. I could hear Jessica-sama's forceful voice through the speakers. Jessie-sama? Maybe that's her nickname at school. The students in the audience kept calling out that name. I'm a little offended by that crude name. It's inappropriate for my lady. Jessica-sama was in high spirits as they kept shouting Jessie-sama. Everyone here was probably a fan. Her mic performance picked up on that and electrified him even more. It was almost like a music program on TV. At first, he'd thought this was all silly, but that feeling had changed into appreciation. It was incredible in its own way. Kanon never listened to music of his own free will, but he'd often heard the kind of music the Ushiromiya family liked. Since it was almost all classical, Kanon had naturally taken a liking to that kind of music. So to Kanon, the song Jessica sang was, how should you say it, extremely colorful. In any case, if Natsui-sama heard it, she'd probably faint. But everyone looked like they were having a really good time. Some die-hard fans who had even brought pen lights sang along and danced crazily with the same movements, almost as though it had been planned ahead. On the stage, Jessica-sama also sang enthusiastically, dripping with sweat. He couldn't find a single element that was appropriate for a daughter of the Ushiromiya family, but it looked like so much fun. I must not go along with it, but at any rate, my lady is full of life and looks like she's having a great time. As I watched my lady enjoying herself, I thought, could this be Ushiromiya Jessica's true nature? Don't I know better than anyone that during her life in Rokkenjima, she's had no choice but to kill her sense of self? So the time she spends, not as my lady, successor of the Ushiromiya family, but as a single girl called Jessica, living life to the fullest, must be very important to her. I've worked close to my lady, seeing her in all seasons, and thought I knew everything about her. But that was all limited to one side of her, the My Lady of Rokkenjima. We are furniture. We surf on Rokkenjima and end our lives on Rokkenjima. So I've come to think of Rokkenjima itself as our whole world. As though, like in Ptolemaic theory, the ocean spilled off the end of the world into an abyss. But when I look at my lady like this, I can see how horribly narrow that outlook is. I still can't go along with the excitement of the crowd. But I feel like I can see something that cannot be seen on Rokkenjima. I'm not sure if this is the unseeable thing Shannon was talking about. But the ocean still doesn't look blue to me.
今日はジェシカの学校の文化祭だったな。校長先生はお元気でおられたかね。
ええ、お元気なようでした。そうそう、高宮議員もおいでになっておりました。あなたによろしくと特に言っておりましたよ。
相変わらずご多忙そうかね。
そのようでした。あの方も精力的な方です。そうそう。あと、榎本会長もおいででしたっけ。
Naturally, the topic of Jessica's cultural festival came up at dinner. School events often became social gatherings for local volunteers. It was the same for the Ushiromiya family, who were celebrities around here. Natsui remembered the name of one VIP after another at that social gathering, telling crowds the news about them. Jessica didn't really have any interest in that discussion and rudely slurped her pumpkin soup.
お嬢様、あまりお行儀がよろしくないかと。
へいへい、そりゃ悪かったぜ。
ジェシカ、そういう言葉遣いは改めるよういつも言っていますよ。
はい。
Jessica answered, discouraged. When he saw that, Cross smiled a little and paused his conversation with Natsui.
ジェシカの方はどうだったかね、文化祭は。
ああ、まあ、
見ていましたよ。よく頑張っていましたね。
Jessica's face turned bright red. She probably hadn't imagined that Natsui would actually come to see her on stage. She felt a mix of happiness and embarrassment. Actually, she hadn't really wanted her mother to watch, since she didn't want to be told that her music was inappropriate for the Ushiromiya family. But it certainly didn't make her unhappy to hear parents say she'd done a good job after watching her try her best.
ジェシカもなかなか落ち着きと貫禄が出てきましたね。生徒代表にふさわしい振る舞いでしたよ。
The smile that had been there until a second ago crumbled like sand. Jessica immediately realized that her mom was talking about something different. Jessica was also the school students' president. She had no interest in doing something so annoying, but her parents had been pushy, so she'd grudgingly accepted. Unfortunately, she was popular at school, so she won the election easily. So, Natsui was praising her for the student council sponsorship ceremony at the beginning of the cultural festival. Actually, she had just carried out that half-heartedly. After that, she immediately met up with her friends and held a stage rehearsal for the rest of the time.
人の上に立ち責任を背負うという経験は必ず将来役に立つ。後宮家の人間としてきっとジェシカを成熟させてくれるだろう。
ただ、挨拶が少し早口でした。内容は及第点でしたが、早い口調はそれを薄れさせます。一呼吸置く癖をつけるといいでしょう。
うん。